so that you can at least write the local history version of it. And that might just be enough for the CCP to remain in power. And if you can do that for the low price of 300 to 500 million dead Chinese, it just might be worth it.
Let's assume things go well and there's no conflict in the Taiwan Strait. What do you think about Taiwan's current energy and economic policies?
All right, this is a country that imports 90% of its energy that is neither sunny nor windy. And I'm a green, but I'm a green that can do math and read a map, which is one of the reasons I'm not welcome at any of the green parties. But no, the technologies of green tech in their current form are atrocious for the physical geography of Taiwan. Taiwan is going to be an oil, gas, coal, and nuclear country until such time as we figure out a much better battery system. Now, if you move the goalposts on me, if you change the way the tech works, I reserve the right to change my mind. But in order for Taiwan to truly go green in a meaningful way, we need to have the capacity to build at least 6 weeks of grid power storage. The longest we can do with today's technology, and it is rapidly expensive, is 4 hours.
And that's
So
Taiwan's
whatever it's going to
current
have to
status?
be, it is not based on lithium.
Okay. Relatively speaking, how long would Taiwan's energy reserves last in a crisis moment right now? Or
Well, if they decide to go green, they'd be gone by the end of the day.
so you would say that the current policy of shutting down like nuclear plants and trying to completely wean off nuclear by, I think it was 2030, I think is their goal.
I would advise against that because nuclear is your only hedge against a naval blockade.
Right, yeah. I think that's going to be a big issue in the upcoming presidential election.
For what it's worth, almost every country in the world, advanced country in the world, is wrestling with this issue in some way.
Yeah.
Green tech and green policies are politically popular. And as a green, I consider that fantastic that we've turned that corner. We now need to do the math. We've got 2 problems. Number one, one that is being resolved, is that because of what's going on in the Russian space, the Germans are realizing that their energy system is absolutely screwed. And that is forcing some interesting conversations among the green communities of Germany versus California, because they've got very similar policies towards favoring green techs to replace conventional or nuclear.
Right.
But in California, they've spent 1/3 as much money and they're getting 5 times as much power because the sun shines in California.
So just the pragmatics of the situation.
Right. So
Totally
we're
different.
having this conversation as to why there's a difference within the green community. This should have happened 15 years ago, but it's finally happening now. And as that conversation is resolved, we will then get policies that are tailored to their specific geographies. And, again, should have happened 15 years ago. We're finally getting there now. That will affect the green policies of every country in the world, Taiwan included.
Okay.
The second problem is a lot more problematic. If we really, really want to adopt EVs and go solar and have mass transmission at scale in a way that will allow us to reduce carbon in a meaningful way, then between now and 2030, we need to triple the output of copper, increase the output of chromium by 4, nickel by 10, lithium by 10, graphite by 18. There is not a single industrial material that has ever been in use that we have doubled the output of on a global basis in a decade. And we now need to do it for 14 different materials without the Russians. No, cannot be done. And that's before you start considering the processing issue, which is primarily China-centric. So we're going to have to make choices about where we're going to focus our efforts. And putting solar in Taiwan is dumb.
Okay. And what about the wind? Like the windmill industry has been receiving quite a bit of investment in the last 5-10 years. Do you think that's sustainable, or pragmatic?
I think it's a better choice than solar.
Okay.
One of the beautiful things about wind is if you can go up, and structural engineering has allowed us to go up, you can tap stronger wind currents that are more reliable and maybe even use it for a little bit of base load. Now, that doesn't work everywhere, but it works in an order of magnitude more places than it does for solar.
What about the sort of political positioning of Taiwan as far as if deglobalization, these energy crises are just around the corner, how do you see Taiwan's political future?
Taiwan is basically working with the Japanese to be an adjunct to anything that Japan does.
Okay, yeah.
Since the United States does not, at the moment at least, recognize Taiwan as an independent state, that's the way to do it. So I think Taiwan is well positioned there. Whatever deal Japan is going to get with the United States, Taiwan is going to kind of tag along with.
Okay.
And honestly, that's exactly how I would do it if I was in Taiwan's position.
Mm.
There's a little bit of a quizzical feeling towards Taiwan in Washington politically right now, because when the Biden administration decided to really put it to the Chinese on semiconductors, there of the first kind of round of calls the Biden administration made to everyone who's in that ecosystem, the Japanese picked up, the Dutch picked up, and they're on board now.
Mhm.
Taiwan's been coy. And from the American point of view, that makes zero sense because Taiwan is absolutely the country that's going to benefit the most from this, both economically and strategically.
Okay.
I understand that the business community in Taiwan has a lot vested in China, but they're going to lose it all, every single scrap of it. And the sooner that that realization is reflected in policy, the better Taiwan will be. One of the things we've seen in the last 2 years is that when it's a choice between security and then economics and comfort, security wins every time.
Mhm.
So this is going to sound weird, but Taiwan has been enjoying a little bit of a vacation from history the last 15 years, where
Hmm.
they've kind of forgotten, if you can believe that, that China is the overwhelming threat to them.
Yeah, yeah, that is
I
true.
have no doubt that the Chinese will be very kind and remind them of that in the not too distant future.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Um, yeah, I think that that covers most of the questions that I had. Thank you. Thanks a whole lot for giving us your insight. And I hope you have a nice evening there in Denver.
Take care, Duncan.